ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaste my dear friends. This is first video on the Avadhuta Gita. Avadhuta Gita is a very important text of Advaita Vedanta or non-dualism. So I start the first video. The Avadhuta Gita is a text of Vedanta representing extreme Advaita or non-dualism. It is ascribed to Dattatreya, Datta son of Atri, who is looked upon as an incarnation of God. Unfortunately, we possess no historical data concerning when or where he was born, how long he lived, or how he arrived at the knowledge disclosed in the text. Some of the Puranas mention him, and of these the Markandeya containing the longest reference, but even this is legendary and by no means very informative. The account in the Markandeya Purana suggests the following facts of Dattatreya's life. He was born of highly spiritual parents Atri and Ansuya. Very early in life he became renowned as a great warrior, and soon, renouncing the world and devoting himself to the practice of yoga, he attained to the highest state of liberation, thus becoming an Avadhuta. Avadhuta means a liberated soul, one who has passed away from or shaken off all worldly attachments and cares, and has attained a spiritual state equivalent to the existence of God. Though Avadhuta naturally implies renunciation, it includes an additional and yet higher state, which is neither attachment nor detachment, but beyond both. An Avadhuta feels no need of observing any rules, either secular or religious. He seeks nothing, avoids nothing. He has neither knowledge nor ignorance. Having realized that he is the infinite self, he lives in that vivid realization. To the Hindu mind, Dattatreya is a symbol of this realization. Whoever the unknown composer of the Avadhuta Gita may have been, he must himself have been a man of the highest spiritual perception. The Avadhuta Gita is a small book of only 8 chapters and is written in spirited Sanskrit verse, which breathes the atmosphere of the highest experience of Brahma. It goes into no philosophical argument to prove the oneness of reality, but is content to make the most startling statements, leaving the seeker of truth to imbibe them and be lifted from illusion into the blazing light of knowledge, jnana. Advaita Vedantins have prized this Gita highly. Swami Vivekananda, one of the greatest Advaitins of all time, often quoted from it. He once said, "Men like the one who wrote this song keep religion alive. They have actually realized they care for nothing, feel nothing done to the body, care not for heat, cold, danger, or anything. They still enjoying the bliss of Atma, and though red hot coals burn the body, they feel them not." Avadut Gita Chapter 1. ईश्वरा अनुग्रह देव पुंसाम अद्वैत वासना मैद भय परित्राणा द्विप्राणा मुपजायते. This is stanza number 1, chapter 1. Though the grace of God alone, the desire for non-duality arises in wise men to save them from great fear. Non-duality, monistic consciousness in which the knower, knowledge and knowable soul and God become one, the highest realization of divinity. Fear. The word fear includes also such states of mind as insecurity, despair and grief, all of which arise from a consciousness of oneself as limited and separate from others, and which therefore can be dispelled only by realizing oneself as oneself as all the stanza number 2. ये नेदम पुरितम सर्वम आत्मन्नवि आत्मन्नान आत्मनि निराकरम कथम वंदे है भिन्नम शिव में वयम. How shall I salute the formless being, indivisible, auspicious and immutable, who fills all this with his self and also fills the self with his self. Salute. No form of greeting or worship is possible where there is no consciousness of distinction, fills, etc. The reality and substance of the so-called individual self is the divine self. Stanza 3. पंचभूतात्मकं विश्वं मरीचि जल सन्निभं कस्यापहौ नमस्कुर्यामहे निरंजनः. The universe composed of the 5 elements is like water in a mirage. Oh, to whom shall I make obeisance? I am I who am one and taintless. 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air and ether. According to most philosophical systems of India, these combine to constitute the phenomenal universe and are derived from God, associated with Maya or ignorance. The terms are not to be taken literally. Taintless, untouched by the slightest ignorance, and hence absolutely pure. The word is often applied to the self and God. Stanza number 4. आत्ममयि केवलं सर्वं भेदा भेदो न विद्यते अस्ति न अस्ति कथं ब्रूयां विस्मः प्रतिभाति मे. All is verily the absolute self. Distinction and non-distinction distinction do not exist. How can I say it exists? It does not exist. I am filled with wonder. It, that is universe. Stanza 5. Vedant sar sarva sauvam ज्ञानम विज्ञानमेव च अहम आत्मा निराकारः सर्वव्यापी स्वभावतः. The essence and the whole of Vedanta is this knowledge, this supreme knowledge that I am by nature the formless, all-pervading self. Stanza number 6. Yo vai सर्वात्मा को देवो निष्कलो गगनोपम स्वभाव निर्मल शुद्ध स एवा अहम न संशय. There is no doubt that I am that God who is the self of all, pure, indivisible, like the sky, naturally stainless. Stanza 7. Aham-eva vayo anantah शुद्ध विज्ञान विग्रह सुखम दुखम न जानामि कथम कश्यापि वर्तते. I indeed am immutable and infinite and of the form of pure intelligence. I do not know how or in relation to whom joy and sorrow exist. Stanza number 8. ने मानसं करं शुभाशुभं मे ने कायिकं करं शुभाशुभं मे ने वाचिकं करं शुभाशुभं मे ज्ञानामृतं शुद्धमतीन्द्रियो अहम्. I have no mental activity, good or bad. I have no bodily function, good or bad. I have no verbal action, good or bad. I am the nectar of knowledge beyond the senses pure. Stanza number 9. Mano vai gaganakaram mano vai sarvato mukham mano atitam manah sarvam ne manah paramarthaha. The mind indeed is of the form of space. The mind indeed is omni-faced. The mind is the past. The mind is all, but in reality there is no mind. All the phenomenal universe, including all time and space, in reality, in the highest realization of the spirit, there is no mind. Stanza number 10. Aham-ekam-idam sarvam vyoma atitam nirantaram pashyami katmatmanam pratyaksham va tirohitam. I, the one only, am all these beyond space and continuous. How can I see the self as visible or hidden, continuous, without the intervention of another substance, therefore homogeneous and undifferentiated, hidden? The question of the self as being hidden or visible does not arise when oneself is the self. So chapter 1, stanza number 11. Tau mev mekam hi katham ne buddhase samam hi sarvesu vimrisht me vayam sadoti tosi tavam khanditah prabhu diva cha naktam cha katham hi mannese. Thus you are one. Why then do you not understand that you are the unchangeable one, equally perceived in all? O mighty one, how can you who are ever shining, unrestricted, think of day and night? You, Dattatreya, now addresses the disciple to whom he is imparting the highest truth. Night. There can be no perception of any time or condition in perfect self-realization. Chapter 1, stanza number 12. Atmanam satatam vidhi sarvatra ekam nirantaram अहम ध्याता परम ध्येयम खंडम खंडते कथम. Know the self always to be everywhere, one and unintercepted. I am the meditator and the highest object of meditation. Why do you divide the indivisible? Unintercepted. See note on continuous verse 10. Divide, etc. Even the act of meditation is an expression of ignorance because it implies duality. Chapter 1, stanza number 13. Ne jato ne mrto asi tvam ne te dehe kadachana sarvam brahmeti vikhyatam brahviti bahuda srutihi. You are not born nor do you die. At no time do you have a body. The scripture declares in many different ways the well-known dictum all is Brahman. All is Brahma. Chapter 1, stanza number 14. Se bayaha abhantar rosi तवं शिवः सर्वत्र सर्वदा इत सततः कथं भ्रान्तः प्रधावसि पिशाचवतः. You are he who is exterior and interior. You are the auspicious one existing everywhere at all times. Why are you running hither and thither deluded like an unclean spirit? Chapter 1, Sanyog, Chapter 1, stanza number 15. संयोगश्च वियोगश्च वर्तते न चैते न मे न त्वं नाहं जगन्नेदं सर्वम् आत्मैव केवलम्. Union and separation exist in regard neither to you nor to me. There is no you, no me, nor is there this universe. All is verily the self alone. Chapter number 1, stanza number 16. शब्दादि पंचकसायस्य नैवासि त्वं नेति पुनः तवमेव परम तत्वतमतः किं प्रीतपश्ये. You do not belong to that which is composed of the five objects of sense, such as sound, nor does that belong to you. You indeed are the supreme reality. Why then do you suffer? 5, etc. The world appearance is composed of the five objects of sense: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, and is not in reality connected with the self. Chapter 1, stanza number 17. Janam mrityurne te chittam band moksho subhashubhu katham rodisi re vatsa nam rupam ne te ne me. For you there is no birth or death, for you there is no mind, for you there is no bondage or liberation, no good or evil. Why do you shed tears, my child? Neither you nor I have name and form. Chapter 1, stanza 18. Aho chitte katham brahantah pardhavasi pisachatvatah अभिन्नं पश्ये चात्मानं रागत्यागस सुखी भवः. O mind, why do you wander about deluded like an unclean spirit? Behold the self indivisible. Be happy through renunciation of attachment. Chapter 1, stanza 19. तवमेव तत्वं हि विकारवर्जितम् निष्कम्मेकं हि विमोक्ष विग्रहं न ते च रागो हर्थवा विराग कथम हि संतप्यसि कामतः. You verily are truth devoid of change, motionless, one of the nature of freedom. You have neither attachment nor aversion. Why do you suffer seeking the objects of desires? Chapter 1, stanza number 20. वदन्ति श्रुतयः सर्वः निर्गुणं शुद्धं वयं शरीरं समं तत्त्वं तन्मः विद्धि न संशयः. All the scriptures say that the truth is without attributes, pure, immutable, bodiless, and existing equally everywhere. Know me to be that. There is not the least doubt about it. Stanza 21, chapter 1. साकारं नृत्यं विद्धि निराकरं निरन्तरम् एतत्तत्त्वोपदेशेन पुनर्भवसम्भवः. Know that which has form to be false, that which is formless to be eternal. Through the instruction of this truth, there is no longer rebirth into this world, no longer etc. Knowing oneself as eternal, one is not born into this world anymore, since incarnation is caused only by the soul's ignorance of its true nature. Chapter 1, stanza 22. एकमेव समं तत्त्वं वदन्ति हि विपश्चितः रागत्यागा पुनश्चित् मेका निश्चितमेका अनेकं न विद्यते. Sages say that reality is one only and the same, and through renunciation of attachment, the mind which is one and many ceases to exist. One and many, one in a higher but not the highest state of illumination, and many in the state of ignorance. Chapter 1, stanza number 23. एनात्म रूपं च कथं समाधिः आत्म स्वरूपं च कथं समाधिः अस्तिति न अस्तिति कथं समाधिः मोक्ष स्वरूपं यदि सर्वम् एकम्. If it is of the nature of the not self, how can there be samadhi, superconscious realization? If it is of the nature of the self, how can there be samadhi? If it is both is and is not, how can there be samadhi? If all is one and of nature of freedom, how can there be samadhi? It, the universe of experience, samadhi, the quieting and extinction of the mind, as a result of which the eternal truth is realized. Dattatreya maintains that the practice of samadhi has no justification. If the universe of our experience is the non-self, then we are not in the state of samadhi, for truth is not there. If our experience is of the self, then samadhi is superfluous. Chapter 1, stanza number 24. विशुद्धोऽसि समं तत्त्वं विधे सत्वं मजो वयः जानामिह न जानामीत्यात्मानं मन्यसे कथम्. You are pure homogeneous reality, disembodied and born and immutable. Why do you think of yourself as know it here or as I do not know? I know it here, etc. Our knowledge of ourself in this earthly state is incorrect. To maintain that we do not have any true knowledge of ourselves here is also incorrect. Chapter 1, stanza number 25. तत्वम् अस्यादिव वाक्येन स्वात्मा हि प्रतिपादितः नेति नेति श्रुति ब्रूयाद् न्यर्थं पंचभौतिकम्. By such sentences as that thou art your oneself is affirmed of that which is untrue and composed of the five elements. The Shruti says, not this, not this, that, etc. The phenomenal existence, five elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, of which, according to the Indian systems of philosophy, the whole relative existence is constituted. See Verse 3. Shruti, the Veda, particularly the Upanishads, the original text of the Vedanta philosophy. Chapter 1, stanza number 26. Atam anne va atmana sarvam tavaya पूर्णम निरंतरम ध्याता ध्यानम नेति चित्तम निर्लजम ध्यायते कथम. As the self is filled by the self, so is all filled continuously by you. There is no meditator or meditation. Why does your mind meditate shamelessly? Shamelessly. One should be ashamed to meditate because meditation presupposes a shameful forgetfulness of one's true divine nature. Chapter 1, stanza number 27. शिवम न जानामि कथम वदामि शिवम न जानामि कथम भजामि अहम शिव चेत परमार्थ तत्वम समस्वरूपम गगनोपम च. I do not know the Supreme. How shall I speak of Him? I do not know the Supreme. How shall I worship Him? If I am the Supreme One, who is the highest truth, who is homogeneous being and like unto space, how then shall I speak of Him and worship Him? No, etc. Empirical knowledge belongs to a lower state in which the Supreme cannot be perceived, therefore one cannot speak of knowing the Supreme. Chapter 1, stanza number 28. Naham tatvam samam tatvam kalpana hetu varjitam grahye agrahye nirmuktam samvedam katham bhavet. The principle of ego is not the truth, which is homogeneous, which is free from the cause of superimposition and distinctions of perceived and perceiver. How can the ego be that which is aware of itself? Stanza 29, chapter number 1. Anantarupam ne hi vastu kinchah तत्व स्वरूपम ने ही वस्तु किंचितः आत्मिक रूपम परमार्थ तत्वम न हिंसको वापि न चापे हिंसा. There is no substance whatever which is by nature unlimited. There is no substance whatever which is of the nature of reality. The very self is the supreme truth. There is neither injury nor injury in it. Chapter 1, stanza 30. Visuddho asi samam tattvam vidhejam vayam vibhram katham atm kathmatmarthe vibhranto aham katham punah. You are the homogeneous reality. You are pure, bodiless, birthless, and imperishable. Why then do you have any delusion about the self? Again, why I am myself deluded? Chapter 1, stanza number 31. घटे भिन्ने घट आकाशम सुलीनम भेद वर्जितम शिवेन मनसा शुद्धो न भेद प्रतिभाति में. When the pot is broken, the space within it is absorbed in the infinite space and becomes undifferentiated. When the mind becomes pure, I do not perceive any difference between the mind and the Supreme Being. Chapter 1, stanza 32. न घटो न घटा आकाशो न जीवो जीव विग्रह है केवलम ब्रह्म संविद्धि वेद वेद वर्जितम. There is no pot, there is no pot's interior space, neither is there an individual soul, nor the form of an individual soul, no the absolute Brahma devoid of knowable and knower. Stanza number 33, chapter 1. सर्वत्र सर्वदा सर्व आत्मानं सततं ध्रुवं सर्वं शून्यं शून्यं च तन्मा विद्धि न संशयः. Know me to be that self who is everything and everywhere at all times, who is eternal, steady, the all, the non-existent and the existent, have no doubt, non-existent, the phenomenal aspect of being which has now disappeared. Chapter 1, stanza 34. वेदा न लोका न सुरा न यज्ञा वर्णाश्रमो न कुलम न जाति न धूम मार्गो न च दीप्ति मार्गो ब्रह्मैक रूपम परमार्थ तत्वम. There are no Vedas, no words, no gods, no sacrifices. There is certainly no caste, no stage in life, no family, no birth. There is neither the path of smoke nor the path of light. There is only the highest truth, the homogeneous Brahma. Say stage in life, any of the four stages into which life is divided by the Hindus, namely those of the student, the householder, the contemplative and the mendicant. The path of smoke, etc. The two paths along which, according to Hinduism, souls travel to the invisible worlds after death. Chapter 1, stanza number 35. व्यापक निर्मुक्त है तवमेकं सफलम यदि प्रत्यक्षं चाप परोक्षं च हय्या आत्मानं मन्यसे कथम. If you are free of the pervaded and pervader, if you are one and fulfilled, how can you think of yourself as directly perceptible by the senses or beyond the range of the senses, free, etc.? One who has transcended the sense of distinction between forms pervaded and the divine substance pervader, such a one therefore has constant unobstructed consciousness of divinity directly. That is to say, in the manner in which the ignorant man perceives with his senses. In the highest state of realization, sense perception is no longer distinguishable from spiritual intuition. Chapter 1, stanza number 36. Advaitakam ke chiddhi chanti द्वैतमी अद्वैतम के छिदन्ति द्वैतम छिदन्ति चापरे समम तत्वम न विन्दन्ति द्वैता अद्वैत विवर्जितम. Some seek non-duality, others duality. They do not know the truth, which is the same at all times and everywhere, which is devoid of both duality and non-duality. Chapter 1, stanza number 37. Savetadi varnam rahitam शब्दादि गुणवर्जितं कथन्ति कथं तत्त्वं मनोवाचागं गोचरम्. How can they describe the truth which is beyond mind and words, which is devoid of white and other colors, of sound and other qualities? Chapter 1, stanza number 38. Yada anirtam midakam, yada yada nirtmidam sarvam dehadi gaganopam tada hi brahma samveti ne tadvait parampraha. When all these appear to you as false, when the body and so on appear to you like space, then you know Brahma truly, then for you there is no dual series. Dual series such as I and thou, self and God, I and it, self and the world and so on. Also it means self and not self and the series of their evolutes. Chapter 1, stanza number 39. परेण सहजा आत्मापि हय भिन्नं प्रतिभाति मे व्योमाकारं तथैवैकं ध्याता ध्यानं कथं भवेत्. Even my natural self appears to me as non-distinct from the Supreme Self. It appears to be one and like space. How can there be meditator and meditation? Chapter 1, stanza number 40. Yat karomi, yad shanami, yad juhomi, dadami yatah. Etat sarvam neme kinchi divishuddho ham jo vaya. What I do, what I eat, what I sacrifice, what I give, all this is not mine in the least. I am pure, unborn, undecaying. Chapter 1, stanza 41. Sarvam jagadvidi निराकृतिदं सर्वं जगद्विधि विकारहीनं सर्वं जगद्विधि विशुद्धदेहं स जगद्विधि शिव एकं रूपम्. Know all this universe to be formless, know all this universe to be without change, know all this universe to be of a purified body, know all this universe to be of the nature of the absolute, of a purified body, that is to say, the material substance of which the universe appears to be constituted is really nothing but pure spirit. Chapter number 1, stanza 42. तत्वं तवं ने ही संदेह किं जाना मैं त्वा पुनः असंवेदं सवसंवेदं आत्मानं मन्यसे कथम. You are verily the truth, there is no doubt about it. Otherwise, what do I know? Why do you consider the self which is perceptible to itself as imperceptible? Otherwise, if one does not perceive every being as a divine, one is still ignorant. Chapter 1, stanza 43. Maya Maya katham tatah chaya chaya ne vidyate tattvam ekam midam sarvam vyomakaram niranjanam. My child, how can there be illusion and non-illusion, shadow and lack of shadow? All this is one truth, all this is of the nature of space and without taint. Chapter 1, stanza number 44. Adi madhya ant mukto aham ne badho aham kadachane स्वभाव निर्मल शुद्ध इति में निश्चिता मतिहि. I am free in the beginning, in the middle and in the end. I am never bound. This is my sure knowledge that I am naturally spotless and pure. Chapter 1, stanza number 45. महदादि जगत सर्वं न किंचित प्रतिभाति मे ब्रह्मैव केवलं सर्वं कथं वर्णाश्रम सिद्ध्यति. The whole universe, beginning with the principle of cosmic intelligence, is not in the least manifest to me. All is indeed Brahma alone. How can there be any existence in caste or stage of life for me? Chapter 1, stanza number 46. Janami sarvatha sarvamahemeko nirantaram niraallam shunam shunam vyomadi panchakamaha. I know that all in every way is the one individual I, which is self-sustained and full, while the five elements, beginning with ether, are empty. Chapter 1, stanza number 47. Ne saddho ne pummane istri ne bodho nayum kalpanah sanando va niranand atmanam manyase katham. The self is neither unique man nor woman, it is neither idea nor imagination. How can you think the self to be full of joy or joyless? Full of joy. Here joy is used in the sense of relative joy as perceived by the senses and the mind. Joyless, here the reference is to transcendental joy. Chapter 1, stanza 48. षडग्योगानः तु नैवं शुद्धं मनोविनाशान्नः गुरूपदेशानः तु नैवं शुद्धं स्वं च तत्त्वं स्वमेव बुद्धं. The self certainly does not become pure through the practice of six-limbed yoga. It certainly is not purified by the destruction of the mind. It certainly is not made pure by the instructions of the teacher. It is itself the truth. It is itself the illumined one. Six-limbed, consisting of six parts or steps, namely posture, control of the vital force, self-withdrawal, concentration, meditation, and samadhi. Chapter 1, stanza number 49. Nahi panchatma नहि पंचात्मको देहो विदेहो वर्तते नहि आत्मैव केवलं सर्वं तुर्यं चैत्र्यं कथम्. There is no body made up of five elements, nor is there anyone who is disembodied. All is verily the self alone. How can there be the three states and the fourth? Five elements. See verses 3 and 25. Anyone, etc. When the pure self is spoken of as disembodied, the idea of body is associated with it. Though negatively, all such qualifications of the self or soul are denied in this as well as in other verses. Three states, etc. The waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. The ordinary conditions of individuals when they are ignorant of their true nature, which is usually called the fourth or transcendental state. To name the transcendental state as the fourth is itself an error. As such, a designation which makes it a correlative of the other three states is inapplicable to the absolute self. Chapter 1, stanza number 50. Ne baddho नयु मुक्तो अहम न चाहम ब्रह्मणः पृथक न कर्ता न च भोक्ता अहम व्यापे व्यापकम वर्जितः. I am not bound, I am not indeed liberated, and I am not different from Brahma, neither doer nor enjoyer. I am devoid of distinction of the pervaded and the pervader. Chapter 1, Liberated, the self cannot be liberated since it was never bound, pervaded, etc. The Sanskrit words for pervaded and pervaded are vyapa and vyapaka, meaning the particular and the universal. The particular is pervaded by or constituted of the universal. The self can be neither particular nor universal, as both these designations imply distinction, division, and limitation. Chapter 1, stanza 51. Yatha jalam jale nestam salilam bhed varjitam prakrti purusham tadvibhina pratibhati me. As water, when water has been poured into water, has no distinction, so Purusha and Prakriti appear non-different to me. Purusha, etc. Purusha, soul, Prakriti, nature, ordinarily considered to be opposite principles, conscious and unconscious. They are here recognized as identical in the highest spiritual experience. Chapter number 1, stanza 52. यदि नामने मुक्तो असि ने बद्धो असि कदाचन साकारं च निराकारं आत्मानं मन्यसे कथम्. If indeed you are never bound or liberated, how then can you think yourself with form or as formless? With form, etc. The self, of course, is without form, but saying so implies recognition of form. Therefore, even the idea of the formlessness of the self is repudiated. Chapter 1, stanza 53. Janami te param rupam pratyaksham gagnopam yatha param hi rupam yan marichi jal sannibham. I know your supreme form to be directly perceivable like the sky. I know your lower form to be as water in a mirage, like the sky without division or distinction, without change, lower, etc. Apparent form. Chapter 1, stanza number 54. Ne gurun उपदेशाश्च ne चोपाधीर्णम मे क्रिया विदेहम गगनम विद्धि विशुद्धो अहम स्वभावतः. I have neither teacher nor instruction, limiting adjunct nor activity. Know that I am by nature pure, bodiless like the sky, limiting etc. Any qualification. Chapter 1, stanza 55. विशुद्धोषे शरीरो असि न ते चित्तं परातं परम् अहं च आत्मा param tatamiti vaktum ne lajjasi. You are pure, you are without a body, your mind is not higher than the highest. You need not be ashamed to say, I am the self, the supreme truth. Mind, etc. The mind is not the self. Stanza number 56, chapter 1. Katham rodisi re chitta haya atam va atmanna bhava pibvatus kalatitam advaitam parmamirtam. Why are you weeping, O mind? Do you, the self, be the self by means of the self? Drink, my child, the supreme nectar of non-duality, transcending all divisions, means, etc. One cannot attain to self-knowledge except through the self itself. How can the mind, which is not self, reveal the self? Chapter 1, stanza 57. नैव बोधो ने चाबा बोधो ने बोधा बोध एवं च यस्य दृश्ये सदा बोधय स बोधय नान्यथा भवेत्. There is neither knowledge nor ignorance, nor knowledge combined with ignorance. He who has always such knowledge is himself knowledge. It is never otherwise knowledge. The Absolute is spoken of as existence, knowledge, and bliss. Stanza 58, chapter 1. ज्ञानम न तर्को न समाधि योगो न देश कालो न गुरुपदेशः स्वभाव संवित्तिरहं न च ततम् आकाशकल्पं सहजं ध्रुवं च. There is no need of knowledge, reasoning, time, space, instruction from a teacher, or attainment of samadhi. I am naturally the perfect consciousness, the real like the sky, spontaneous and steady. Samadhi, see verse 23. Dattatreya maintains that the practice of Samadhi is not necessary because according to him the self has never been bound and hence does not require to practice anything to gain knowledge of itself. The self, which is consciousness itself, can never lose consciousness of its true nature and therefore Samadhi is superfluous. Chapter 1, stanza 59. न जातो अहम मृतो वापि न मे करम शुभाशुभम विशुद्धम निर्गुणम ब्रह्म बंधो मुक्ति कथम मम. I was not born nor have I death. I have no action, good or evil. I am Brahma, stainless, without qualities. How can there be bondage or liberation for me? Chapter 1, stanza 60. Yadi sarvagato devah sitrah purno nirantrah antram hine pashyami se bahye abhyantrah katham. O God pervades all. If God is immovable, full, undivided, then I see no division. How can he have exterior or interior? How, etc. Exterior or interior cannot be spoken of him who is indivisible and infinite. Stanza 61, chapter 1. सफुर्तयेव जगत्कृत सन्मुखमण्डिता निरन्तरम् अहो माया महो मोहो द्वैता अद्वैता विकल्पना. The whole universe shines undivided and unbroken. Oh, the Maya, the great delusion, the imagination of duality and non-duality. Maya, ignorance. Stanza 62, chapter 1. Sakaram cha nirakaram neti neti te sarvadah bheda abhedo vinirmukto vartate kevalah shiva. Always not this to both the formless and the formed. Only the absolute exists, transcending difference and non-difference. Not this, etc. No formed or formless object can be considered to be the ultimate reality. Stanza 63, chapter 1. न ते च माता च पिता च बंधु न ते च पत्नी न सुतश्च मित्रम न पक्षपातो न विपक्षपातः कथम हि संततपीर्यं च हि चित्तः. You have no mother, no father, no wife, no son, no relative, no friend. You have no likes or dislikes. Why is this anguish in your mind? दिवानक्तं न ते चित्तम् उदया सत्मयो न हि विधिः शरीरतत्त्वं कल्पयन्ति कथं बुद्धा. O mind, for you there is no day or night, rising or setting. How can the wise imagine an embodied state for the bodiless? Chapter 1, stanza 65. न विभक्तं विभक्तं च न हि दुख सुखादि च न हि सर्वं सर्वं च विद्धि चात्मानं वयम्. The self is neither divided nor undivided, nor has it is sadness, happiness, and the like, nor is it all or less than all. Know the self to be immutable. Stanza 66, chapter 1. न न अहं कर्ता न भोक्ता च न मे करम पुराधुना न मे देहो विदेहो वा निर्मोमेति ममेति किम. I am not the doer or enjoyer work. I have none now or formerly. I have no body, nor am I bodiless. How can I have or not have a sense of myness? Chapter 1, stanza 67. न मे रागादिको दोषो दुःखं देहादिकं न मे आत्मानं विद्धि मामेकं विशालं गगनोपम्. I have no faults such as passion and the like, nor have I any sorrow arising from the body. Know me to be the one self vast and like the sky. Chapter 1, stanza 68. सखे मनः किं बहु जल्पितेन सखे मनः सर्व इदं वित्कर्यं यथा सारभूतं कथिं मया ते तवमेव तत्त्वं गगनोपममसि. Friend, mind of what use is much vain talk. Friend, mind, all this is mere conjecture. I have told you that which is the essence. You indeed are the truth like the sky. All, etc. Words and ideas being finite and related to infinite objects can never reveal truth completely. Chapter 1, stanza 69. येन केनापि भावेन यत्र कुत्र मृता अपि योगिन सतत्र लीयन्ते घटा आकाशं विवम्रे. In whatever place yogis dies, in whatever state, there they dissolve as the space of a jar dissolved into the sky. Dissolve, etc. becomes identified with the self. Stanza 70, chapter 1. तीर्थे चान्ते जगे हे वा नष्ट स्मृतिरपि इत्यज्ञः समकाले तनु मुक्तः कैवल्य व्यापको भवेत्. Giving up the body in a holy place or in the house of a Chandala, the yogi, even if he has lost consciousness, becomes identified with the Absolute as soon as he is free of the body. Chandala, one belonging to the lowest stratum, considered unclean and impure of Hindu society, lost, etc. That is to say, apparently so, the inward awareness of the yogi can never be clouded. Chapter 1, stanza 71. Dharmarth kam mokshascha divdiva te characharam mananante yogineh sarvam marichi jal sannibham. The yogi is considered duty in life, pursuit of wealth, enjoyment of love, liberation, and everything movable or immovable, such as man, and so on, to be a mirage. Stanza 72, chapter 1. Atita na gatam karam वर्तमानं तथैव च न करोमि न भुञ्जामि इति मे निश्चला मतिः. This is my certain perception. I neither perform nor enjoy past action, future action, or present action. Chapter 1, stanza 73. शून्यागारे समरसपूत सित्तष्टनीकः सुखम वधूत चर्तिः नगण्य स तक्त्या गर्वं विन्दति केवलमात्मनि सर्वम्. The Avadhuta alone, pure in evenness of feeling, abides happy in an empty dwelling place, having renounced all he moves about naked, he perceives the absolute, the all within himself. Avadhuta, a liberated soul, one who has passed away from or shaken off all worldly attachments and cares and has realized his identity with God. Stanza 74, chapter 1. त्रितैतुर्यं नहि नहि यत्र विन्दति केवल आत्मनि तत्र धर्म अधर्मो नहि नहि यत्र बद्धो मुक्तः कथम यत्र तत्र where there are neither the three states of consciousness nor the fourth, there one attains the absolute in the self. How is it possible to be bound or free where there is neither virtue nor vice? Chapter 1, stanza 75. Vindati Vindati Nahi Nahi Mantram छंदो लक्षणम नहीं नहीं तंत्रम समर समग्नो भावित पोतः परलपित मेते परम मत्र धूतम. The Avadhuta never knows any mantra in Vedic meter nor any tantra. This is the supreme utterance of the Avadhuta, purified by meditation and merged in the sameness of infinite being. Mantra is hymen or a sacred prayer, tantra system of rites and ceremonies. This the truth as enunciated in the whole discourse. Chapter 1, stanza 76. Sarvasunyam sunyam च सत्या सत्यम ने विद्यते स्वभाव अभावतः प्रोक्तम शास्त्र संविधि पूर्वकम. There exists neither complete void nor voidlessness, neither truth nor untruth. The Avadhuta, having realized the truths of the scriptures, has uttered this spontaneous from his own nature. Truth, complete truth, does not exist in the plane of relative existence. So, my dear friends, Chapter 1 of Avadhut Gita is completed, and here ends this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Namaskar, namaskar my dear friend. And video on Avadhut Gita, second video will start with chapter number 2. Thanks a lot. Namaskar.